India's $250 billion AI gold rush. It's 1849. People are abandoning everything and sprinting toward California. Not because they're reckless, because the gold is real and the ones who move first get rich. Fast forward to 2026. The hills are in India. The gold is data. And at the India AI Impact Summit, over $250 billion was committed in a matter of days. Tata, Reliance, Google, Nvidia. This isn't hype. This is the largest technology capital deployment in emerging market history. And if you're not paying attention, you're already late. Before a single dollar lands, you need to understand why India attracted this capital. The answer is architecture. Specifically, India's MANAV framework, the government's national AI governance vision built around one radical idea: democratic AI sovereignty. While China centralizes AI inside state enterprises and the US defers to private markets, India is threading a third needle. The government built AI Kosh, a national repository of Indian language data owned by the state, licensed to global developers. They're funding AI centers of excellence at IITs, and foreign companies get market access only if they localize data, hire locally, and submit to algorithmic oversight. This is a negotiating strategy, and it worked. Because India isn't asking big tech for a favor. India has 1.4 billion people, the world's largest STEM graduate pool, and democratic legitimacy that neither China nor any authoritarian alternative can offer. When Google and Nvidia walked into New Delhi, they needed India more than India needed them. The MANAV framework simply made sure India got paid for that leverage. The result? $250 billion in committed capital and a policy environment that makes long-term investment here structurally de-risked. Now let's talk hardware, because data centers are only as powerful as the chips underneath them, and India is fighting to own that layer too. Tata's $11 billion semiconductor fab in Dholera, Gujarat is the centerpiece. It wasn't a new announcement at the summit, but every $15 billion data center commitment made there is a demand signal for Dholera's chips. The fab targets AI-optimized compound semiconductors, 20,000 plus jobs, and it's designed to feed exactly the kind of gigawatt-scale compute facilities being announced right now. Here's your stock insight. Tata Motors is increasingly an automotive AI chip play. Tata's group strategy integrates its semiconductor capabilities with AI-assisted driving systems and connected vehicle platforms. As India's EV market accelerates, the convergence between Tata's automotive and semiconductor arms becomes a genuine moat. Watch it. Then there's Micron, building semiconductor assembly and testing in Uttar Pradesh, memory chips that every AI data center needs at massive scale. And this isn't just a business decision, it's geopolitically backed, aligned with US CHIPS Act incentives and India's production-linked incentive scheme. Indian semiconductor players are running with a rare double tailwind: domestic AI demand and Western geopolitical capital. And for pure infrastructure exposure, L&T Larsen and Toubro is the engineering backbone of Dholera, roads, utilities, and now data center construction. Watch their order book. It will tell you more about the pace of India's AI build-out than any press release. Google committed $15 billion, and the geography of where they're putting it tells you everything. A gigawatt-scale AI hub in Visakhapatnam, Vizag, on India's eastern coast, plus a subsea cable gateway. Why Vizag? Deep water port access for hardware shipments, proximity to India's Eastern Naval Command, land for massive cooling infrastructure, and an Andhra Pradesh state government offering aggressive incentives. The subsea cable isn't just a connectivity upgrade, it's India securing a direct link to the global internet that reduces dependence on routes controlled by rival powers. This is AI infrastructure doubling as geopolitical infrastructure. Then there's Reliance. Jio's pledge of $110 billion over 7 years for gigawatt-scale data centers, starting with Jamnagar, Gujarat, going live late 2026, is Mukesh Ambani running the 4G playbook all over again. He commoditized mobile data for 1 billion people. Now he's doing it for AI compute. If he's right, Reliance becomes the infrastructure backbone of India's digital economy for the next 3 decades. And underneath all of it, NVIDIA. Every gigawatt India switches on is populated with NVIDIA GPUs. India's $250 billion build-out is one of the largest single demand pools for NVIDIA silicon on Earth right now. You can't easily buy Indian data center infrastructure as a listed equity, but you can buy NVIDIA, and India is a core part of that bull thesis. Here's what most financial commentators are missing entirely. This isn't just a technology story, it's a sovereignty story. The lesson every major government learned from recent geopolitics is brutal and simple. Technological dependence is strategic vulnerability. When Russia was sanctioned, cloud access became a weapon. When semiconductor exports were restricted, supply chains collapsed overnight. Every democratic nation in the global south watched that happen and drew the same conclusion: build your own stack or become someone else's dependency. India is positioning itself as the democratic alternative, not American big tech, not Chinese platforms. An Indian model: sovereign infrastructure, democratic governance, open to partnerships but never captured by them. The 100,000 jobs projected from AI supply chain growth aren't just an economic statistic. They're a political constituency that will demand these investments continue across every future government. When technology becomes politically entrenched, it becomes durable. That changes the risk calculus for every long-term investor in this space. The $250 billion is real. The policy architecture is in place. The capital is moving. Watch Tata for the automotive AI chip convergence. Watch L&T as Dholera's engineering spine. Watch Reliance as the sovereign compute layer comes online. And watch Nvidia, because every gigawatt India turns on is another line on Jensen Huang's earnings call. In 1849, the people who hesitated missed California. The question is whether you're still standing at the edge or whether you've already started moving. I'll see you in the next one. Disclaimer: for informational purposes only, not financial advice. Consult a qualified advisor before investing.